More than 200 years ago, Americans fought a revolution against big government.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and has sent hither swarms of officials to harass our people and eat out their substance.
George III and his bureaucrats taxed and controlled their lives until the people said, enough. The government in Washington, D.C. makes you nostalgic for old King George. The royal tax collectors took about 25% from our ancestors. This year, government at all levels will extract 50% of our money to waste. And not gently. IRS agents use wiretaps, mail openings, informants, disguises, guns, chains, and jails to get every last dime.
Too soon. Go back to the tape.
Hi, welcome to On Second Thought. I'm the co-host of the show, Susan King, and the host of our show, Mr. William Wagener. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Susan. With us in the studio tonight, after 5.5 years since the jury verdict of not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty times 10, is the lead defense attorney, Thomas, I call him Hurricane, Mesereau. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you, William. My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
I am so happy to have you here. You had a chance to think about things since this trial, and you were actually invited to a Los Angeles County Bar Association meeting, I think it was September 15th?
Yes, it was the LA County Bar Symposium on the Michael Jackson case.
Is this kind of unusual to 5 years after a case have a bunch of lawyers come together just to focus on one celebrity's legal trauma?
Well, the Los Angeles County Bar also had one on the Simpson case about a year before.
Oh, they did?
So I think they're planning to have a couple of symposiums on famous cases if they can get people who were involved to participate.
If you had not participated, it would have been pretty lopsided.
That would be an understatement. Clearly, a lot of the speakers were not terribly, thrilled with the result, in my opinion. And I'm happy I was there to get the truth out.
And you did get the truth out. This trial actually started in 2004, didn't it?
Well, the case started in 2004. The trial started in 2005, January 31st.
January 31st. And you had to get up at 3 every morning to get ready?
Well, I lived here for 6 months in the wonderful city of Santa Maria, a city I have great affection for, wonderful people, wonderful place to live, great fondness and great memories about Santa Maria. But I lived here for 6 months, approximately 5 of it we were in trial, and my typical schedule was to have my alarm go off at 3 in the morning. I'd go through the day, I'd be in bed at 7:30, latest 8 o'clock at night, and I lived that way for probably over 5 months, yeah.
Well, I guess I can't complain having to get up at 6 in the morning to get into the room and get a ticket. They wouldn't give me, I've been doing the show for 5 years at that time, and they wouldn't grant me a media credential. Do you think there's a little prejudice there in the court application of who's media? And it bothered me because there was somebody who was doing simply an internet radio show for 1 month, and they got a media credential right away.
Well, I wasn't involved in that process.
Oh, I know you.
I had enough things to worry about. I really wasn't thinking too much about who had access and who didn't. We had some other people who were on top of that, but I was not the one.
I noticed listening to the LA County Bar Association, Judge Melville spoke first. And one of the things he said is that they were expecting a crush of like 10,000 Jackson fans, and it never materialized. But from my count, and I did daily counts for quite a few days, I believe throughout the whole trial there were over 10,000 Jackson fans that came. They just didn't stay the whole time.
Well, you had more accredited media following this trial than O.J. Simpson and Scott Peterson combined. That was announced by Brian Williams when NBC announced that the verdict had been reached. So this was a very, very watched trial all over the world. And I think a lot of society stopped when the verdicts came down because Michael was so popular all over the globe. You know, Asia, Africa, the Middle East, Europe, you name it. Everybody stopped what they were doing to watch the verdict.